Hey, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm talking about Utah's absolutely insane VPN law in their fight against adult-themed content. Now, if you want to see the written version of this video, you can find a link to a website in the video description. So it's hard for me to be serious about this because it sounds like an absolute joke. It's absolutely absurd. But the thing is, what they're trying to accomplish is more liability against websites for people that are potentially underage looking at adult-themed content. Now, I always present a solution in these videos, and I've been saying this for numerous type of videos regarding this type of subject because it's happening across the world. It comes down to good parenting. It's not that you have to turn into a police state and you have to police the internet like some other regimes around the world. So what is happening is that in Utah, to view adult-themed content, you have to confirm you're an adult by using your credit card information or ID or something like that. You need to basically have some sort of form to verify you're an adult looking at adult-themed content. Now, the problem with this is that, of course, it's possible for someone to just sign up for a VPN and then they'll circumvent that because they'll put their country of connection, like, say, I don't know, Mexico, just making it up. And of course, there's no law like that there, and they can view the adult-themed content without having to verify their age. So now the state of Utah government is basically targeting, well, let's target how people connect to the VPN. So this is what they're doing, and I kid you not, this is not a joke. Utah, first state to hold websites liable for users who mask their locations with VPN. And this is the part that says here, signed by Governor Spencer Cox on March 19th, the controversial law establishes that a user is considered to be accessing a website from Utah if they are physically located there, regardless of whether they're using a VPN or proxy to mask their IP address. Okay. It also prohibits covered websites from sharing instructions on how to use that VPN to bypass age checks. Okay, that's still not the worst of it. And then NordVPN has called out and basically said it's an unresolvable complex, blah, blah. And they basically said, arguing that it holds websites responsible for identifying users whose tools are specifically designed to be unidentifiable. And I have to agree with that. A VPN is literally designed to help you become a little bit more anonymous, not completely. Now, because I have called out NordVPN in a different video, put a link to that video here, and also in the video description, in which I basically said NordVPN is kind of very sneaky, deceptive ads. But no, I kind of agree with them partially on this statement that that's exactly what the point of a VPN is to help make you a little bit more anonymous, not completely. But the most important part of this article is that the law is also technically flawed, given it assumes that web providers can reliably detect VPN traffic and determine a user's physical location, which they can't, because if you say you're connecting from Germany or something and you're in the state of Utah, how is a website provider supposed to know that if you run an adult-themed website or any website for that matter? This is absolutely insane. And the other thing is when you have a VPN service like NordVPN, Mulvand, Proton, whatever, you have the ability to sit within Utah and to connect to many different IP addresses, hundreds throughout the world. And to make things even more complex is that when you connect to a VPN service, there's first and foremost, it might not be a static IP. What does that mean? Well, when you connect to a VPN location, you're sitting in Utah or any part of the world, but we're focusing on people in Utah. You're sitting in Utah on your computer, you're going to connect to a VPN, and you're going to connect to something in Germany. The IP addresses you connect to in Germany today might be different tomorrow because they're not static. They could be dynamic. So the IP address you're connecting to might be released back into the whole pool of IPs, and you might connect to a different one. So if I'm a website that runs adult-themed content and I block the original IP today, but you connect to a different one in Germany tomorrow because it's the same VPN service, but they just changed the IP address. Me as a website provider, how am I supposed to know that? And again, there's hundreds around the world, the services you can connect through. Now, this article actually says something very interesting I didn't think about, but it's a really good point. I want to put it out here. And kudos to the author. Who's the author? We should recognize them. Luke James of Tom's Hardware. This is an interesting one. Autonomous system number analysis can catch traffic originating from a data center networks, but can't identify a personal WireGuard tunnel running on a cloud VPS, for example, which routes through the same infrastructure as an ordinary web hosting. So basically what they're saying is that you can set up your own VPN service, your own one, with your own agent, your VPN client or agent on your computer, send it over to a VPS, like your own AWS or Azure environment, and then route it through there. So you basically effectively created your own mini cloud tunnel, VPN tunnel, that could be going through legitimate means, and the website provider wouldn't know that. That adds to the complexity. Like, there's so many things in here that just don't make any sense, that are just so technically flawed. And this is the real kicker here, and I've thought this and I never really openly said it because I was like, I don't know how the algorithm is gonna behave, and some people get really offensive when you say this. They basically mentioned that the only way you can get something really locked down is to have something similar to China's Great Firewall and Russia's TSPU system, basically like a communist state. You basically need to enforce communist type of technology in which they're basically monitoring anything and everything you do on the internet. But then these Western countries, like United States, portions of the United States, United Kingdom, and other countries, are they bash on those communist countries for the practices they do on the internet, but literally they're doing it here. But here they use the excuse and guise of it's for the children and their safety, which is a disgusting excuse to use children as an excuse to make this mass surveillance. But this is not even mass surveillance. Just this literally makes no sense. I think they honestly have no idea what they're doing. I think they're just some crazy old people who don't know anything about technology, which is weird because in certain levels of the government, you're supposed to have some sort of infrastructure manager or, sorry, technology specialist rather, and they're supposed to be providing guidance and whatnot, but it's politics. They just kind of switch cabinet members. They hire their own friend. At least that's how it works here in the Ford government in Ontario, and no one seems to care, unfortunately. Now, of course, some websites are fighting back on this. If you look at this article here, it says, now the enhancement of this law has been delayed due to legal challenge by ILO, the parent company of Adult Hub. I'm not going to say the four-letter P word because the YouTube algorithm might act weird. But the problem with this is that it only delays the law to be taken into effect until September 3rd, and only for that parent company's websites that they provide. It doesn't actually cover anything else. Now, if they win, could this push back against for other websites or modify or dissolve this law entirely? It's very possible, but it needs push from people. And this is the other part of my solution. One, of course, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is good parenting. And I also, I don't know, I'm not an American. This might be also illegal. If I think it overrules some amendments, but perhaps anyway. Basically, you need to look at the person who enacted this and find representatives of your government for your local area and state of Utah, and whoever helped enforce this law and say, I don't approve of this. This is wrong, and we should be working together on a different solution, and basically tell them, like, I'm not going to vote for you then. Like, make your voice heard, sign a petition, start a petition, whatever you need to do. What's more complex, if you not listen to this article, is that there could be a new adult theme website every day or every week made from anyone in any part of the world. They're not going to follow this. The state of Utah is going to email them and say, hey, mystery person in Southeast Asia, you made this adult theme website, start blocking these VPN IPs. They're just going to laugh at you and be like, I ain't doing that. And if somehow the state of Utah does happen to have that blocked, somehow they'll take all their data and they'll just post it on another IP address, another URL website. They do that all the time. Like, it just makes no technical sense, and it's just immoral anyway. This is a police state. So that's the end of this video. The sad part about all of this is that I'm pretty sure this is going to spread to other parts of the United States and here in Canada. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to click my website link in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, it literally helps my channel grow. Maybe considering the super thanks button, which is a little heart icon below this video, because here I am making this on an 8:43 on a Saturday morning. I'm actually in my pajamas while the kids are downstairs, and that's pretty much a wrap.